Be like, damn, slow down. I know you see a queen adjusting her crown. She been knocked down, but she never stayed down. She been living life like it's her playground. And they be like, damn, slow down. They can catch us, she be moving too fast.
Hey y'all, hey, good afternoon, y'all. As promised, I am back, y'all. No, we are not talking about Vaughn and Dre McCray today. We are going to be following up with Codi Bigsbys family. As you guys know, last week when I talked to y'all, I told y'all that they were going to be holding a press conference today. And I don't know what time it was originally set for. I wasn't sure. So I was trying to keep my Facebook up to date. And then I literally just seen it ended 5 minutes ago. So I started the live as soon as I seen that it ended. I did not get to watch it. So we're gonna be watching it together. Let me go ahead and say hi to y'all. Hey Ty, hey India, hey Anisha. Now I know that when we last covered this I told you guys that the father Corey was charged with an additional 23 charges for child neglect, and none of those are related to Codi. One second, y'all. Let me tell my kids to go back to their apartment or close my door. Okay, I'm back, y'all. Hey, Pine. So, like I said, he was charged with 23 additional counts, and now we are just still trying to figure out where is Codi Bigsby. A lot of people feel like this story is not really giving anyone any answers simply because why people can't say where Codi is, why has people still been looking for him, or search parties happening. It's kind of like, a lot of people don't realize with missing children cases, they are hot for a little while and then they fizzle off, unfortunately. So it's kind of those things that if people are not keeping his name alive, then people will not know. So that's the reason why I'm really covering this story and giving you guys updates about this, even though I like to reiterate Corey Bigsby is the only person of interest in this story. So we really do not know. We never knew anything for real about this case. We just know that a little 4-year-old boy is missing. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to get into the reaction. It's my first time watching this with you guys. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Yes, I actually agree, India. I think that this is similar to the classic and sincere case. All the information will be presented after. A lot of times, prosecution does not like to expose their hand. They don't want to speak prematurely, and a lot of them have to get approval or be seen by a grand jury. The grand jury did just rule in those additional charges for Codi, so I do believe that they know more information. Hence, why they only are reiterating that those charges had nothing to do with Codi and it was simply about the other children. I kind of believe that they're purposely leaving the information out, but the grand jury does know more than we do. Hey, Mama Kim. Hi, Ani. Hi, Anisha and Pine. I'm going to go ahead and start the video for us.
Okay.
There go the crazy auntie with the denim shirt on, y'all. That's the crazy one. She is here. She's here.
Absolutely.
Hey,
What I'll do is I
Brita.
will
Hey,
introduce
Cece.
everybody as well. I think you all have the spelling of everyone's names. And then I'm going to start out, and then I will let the family talk. So I'm Amina Matheny Willer. My name is spelled Amina. My last name is hyphenated. Matheny hyphen Willard. I am the attorney for Corey Bigsby. Um, to my left is Bonnie Chapman. She is the PR person for TV Unleashed. They are sponsoring the $25,000 reward for Cody Bigsby. Jeanette Hennett is Corey Bigsby's.
Okay, so I'm not sure if it was previously discussed because this is my first time hearing it, but I guess there's a $25,000 reward and it's being sponsored by Unleashed TV, according to her. Pine, the auntie is crazy because in like the first video that I covered about this story, she went completely off on the news broadcaster about when he was asking her questions about Cody's disappearance. Like she went bananas. So she's been called the crazy auntie ever since because the man was just like, when's the last time you seen him? When's the last time you seen him? Uh we've never seen him. We don't know him. We're trying to help find him. And she was just real crazy. She was just not willing to help or even cooperate. She should have said no questions at this time, but instead she decided to be very combative. It was bad. That poor news reporter was like, what in the hell? And then she also wanted to pacify her brother for leaving the children home alone. She was like, what do y'all basically expect him to do? Not leave his kids home alone. So that's why she's the crazy auntie. I didn't think she was gonna be at the press conference, but I immediately was able to spot her out. She's still looking crazy. She's mad.
Aunt. Mr. Hennett is Corey Bigsby's uncle, and Tandalia Butler is Corey Bigsby's sister. And I've provided the spelling of everyone's name. Everybody got that? Those are the on-camera people. So the reason we're conducting this press conference is, I guess it's multi.
Can y'all hear? The sound is kind of bad from their end, but let me know if y'all can hear.
Speak out about what is going on with two members of their family and how the Hampton Police Department and the Hampton Commonwealth Attorney's Office has mishandled the treatment of both of their family members. I can tell everyone that, and they will go into in more detail, but the first attorney that Corey Bigsby had told them not to talk to anyone, not to post on Facebook, not to engage. And one of the family members that is not here advised me as well that he told them to erase their social media profiles. So they had been given instruction not to talk to the media. When I came in the case, obviously, as everyone knows, my focus was on getting Corey out. That was my focus. That's what I attempted to do. And then I began to engage with the family about talking to the media. So I actually just found out that they had been instructed not to talk to the media. And again, when I got in, my main focus was getting him out. So I didn't really have that discussion with them. But they have wanted to speak. They, again, were instructed not to. And so this press conference was really set up at the request of the family because now with me representing Corey, I told them there's absolutely no reason that they shouldn't talk to the media. So what I will do is just, I have kind of a brief timeline just to talk about the events that took place, how this case began, and then I'm going to let the family talk the majority of the press conference. So on January 31st, Corey went to the Hampton Police Department to report Cody missing. Between January 31st and now, there has never been an Amber Alert by the Hampton Police Department. That is one thing that is extremely concerning, and I'm going to let the family talk about their views as to why that may not have happened. But the bottom line is, in order to get an Amber Alert, the Hampton Police Department would have to request that from the Virginia State Police. Virginia State Police sends a letter that says we're not going to issue it or we are going to issue it. The Hampton Police Department was derelict in their duties in finding Cody. Again, I will let the family go into the reasons that we believe, but obviously they, from the start.
I'm trying to find a better video. As y'all can tell, this is like a bootleg press conference, so we're gonna use press conference very loosely. I think this is the only video that's currently out, and it's from a news station called Wavy TV or Wavy 10 on Facebook. And they typically cover Hampton news. So that's the only one that I've been able to find. Now, I do want to point out that she made it very clear that the family was instructed not to speak to the media. Um, I'm not sure how those two go hand in hand. I guess I need to keep watching, but I'm kind of confused as if we're looking for Codi, why can't y'all speak about Codi? Corey's in jail for charges not related to Codi. Corey, the father, is in jail because he neglected other children in his home, three other children. So I'm kind of confused. Like, I guess we have to keep watching it, but she thinks she's slick. She's really, oh, they were instructed not to talk by the lawyer, even delete their social media accounts. That's totally false. The crazy auntie has been seen on Rhonda Young Live. She's on Facebook. She had a call with her. She has been on her little live thing multiple times. So I don't even know what that has to do with anything. But yeah, hashtag where is Codi?
They were biased and they treated this case in a way that was, it didn't do Cody any justice. So that was around, so that there hasn't been an Amber Alert. The police set up a site to look for Cody around February 1st, but by February 4th, they had dismantled that makeshift the makeshift site where they were looking for Cody. When they asked for volunteers, they limited the number of volunteers to 50. So there's a lot that they did. They pretty much stopped looking for him within a week. So after Corey did what he was supposed to do as a father, the Commonwealth Attorney's Office took over and essentially overcharged him so that he could not, or virtually impossible, making it virtually impossible for him to get out, causing hysteria in the community, hysteria with the judges, and supporting what I consider the false narrative that the police started. I will also say that I've been practicing for 20 years, and this is my opinion of what happened in the Hampton Police Department when Corey went to the police department to report Cody missing. He did not confess as to a crime that he didn't commit. When they could not get him to falsely confess to a crime, they started denying him right to counsel. That's factual. The police department said they denied his right to counsel. They kept him there for 4 days, limited food and water, not letting him go home, despite the fact that he wanted to go home. He asked for counsel. He said he was tired. My opinion is that this is what the Hampton Police Department generally does. The fact that they put someone on administrative leave when it wasn't just one person that denied his right to counsel, the FBI were there as well. So these were multiple people that denied his right to counsel. And then all of a sudden, when the media decides to cover Cody, oh, we're sorry, we denied his right to counsel, we're going to put one person on administrative leave. So my opinion is that this is a pattern in practice in the Hampton Police Department where they attempt to get false confessions. And when they don't, the torture begins. The Commonwealth picks it up by adding overcharging, and then everyone knows that the new indictments were additional overcharging. So my position is that the Hampton Police Department and the Commonwealth Attorney's Office is complicit in this corruption.
Y'all. I'm trying not to laugh, but I'm laughing because the lawyer is lawyering, y'all. Like she's really lawyering. And to most people who's not thinking straight, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, so it was the police that can't help find Codi. They're in the wrong." Whole time, no, you not slick, lawyer. You are not slick, lady, but you're smart. You trying it. She's basically what she's doing is she's going to put all blame on Codi not being found or anything happening to Codi straight in the hands of the failed police department. And this is smart because of multiple reasons. But the main reason is a lot of people don't trust the police because what is going on to our people, right? So we already have a mistrust in the police. We already know that a lot of police officers are currently abusing the system and mistreating people of color, especially black men. However, and I'm not taking that away because they did violate his rights if they did not allow him to seek counsel and if they did hold him against his will. That is true, but two things can be true at one time. Codi still failed as a, or sorry, Corey still failed as a father when it comes to Codi. Codi is still missing, and that had nothing to do with the police officers. There is nothing that the police can do if the father can't even say exactly where Corey or Codi was last seen. The quickly into the investigation, as you guys remember, they were they put together pieces that Cody had been missing well before January 31st. He had probably went missing around November. And this has been through a realtor that said that she never seen him, that the father never mentioned having kids. The father has been shown leaving the children multiple times, even to get a car. No school records for this little boy, nothing, no recent pictures, even though he had a recent birthday. So two things can be true at once, but just notice that the lawyer is being smart. She's highlighting all the things to, put us in a box where we only think that Codi or Corey is being mistreated. Whole time I'm still thinking, where's Codi? And Mama Kim, to answer your question, do you think the aunt knows what happened to Codi? I don't think that she knows that what happened to Codi, but I do think that she knows more than what she's putting on. But again, a lot of people are gonna protect their family. So she's very protective of her brother. Rightfully so, in her opinion. But no one's to say exactly what happened to Codi.
I've said my what I believe several times in court, so I know that all of you all know that. So I am going to, having made that introduction, I'm going to go ahead and allow the family to speak. I'm going to start with Tandalia Butler because I'm going to try to go based on the chronology of what happened. So if you can tell them what happened from the time you heard about Cody being missing.
On January the 31st, when my nephew went missing, I got a call from my niece, in which I was at work in Maryland, and she said she had heard about it from her grandmother who saw it on the news. I left work and I came straight to Hampton. I stayed in the police station all night the first night, asking if I could see my nephews, if I could see my brother. I was constantly told over and over again that it was a sensitive case. Um,
Wait. I couldn't even unmute and pause fast enough. She said that she found out that Codi was missing through a niece, and the niece grandma saw it on the news. So your dear brother did not call you and say, "Bro, sis, Codi is missing. I'm calling the police right now. I need everybody's help. I cannot believe this." Cody didn't call you. Sorry, Corey did not call you to tell you that his son is missing. You found out from a grandma after she was watching the news. Because let me remind y'all, the father was not immediately arrested. He was not arrested until the I think the 3rd of February. So he was not immediately arrested. He still had his free rights. He actually just went in for questioning. So I'm kind of confused. Okay, let's continue.
he He couldn't speak, but he was free to leave if he wanted to. Like I kept telling him, there's no way he's free to leave and doesn't want to leave. Even if he wants to help you find his son, he would want to do it from home around people that love him who can help and assist him with that. Still nothing. The next day, I left the station, went out and joined active searches. We were in a search that day and probably 2 more days. I remember my niece getting a call from one of the FBI agents. We had to go back to the station, turn over phones so that they could dump the phones. Police had those phones for every bit of 2 to 3 hours. So for the police chief to come out and say, for those who claim to love Codi, if they would give us more information, like how much more information do you need if we've done everything you've asked us to do? It's not fair at all. It's just not fair. We've done that. Then there comes where they were. Someone so-called found a jacket and tire tracks. That area where that jacket was found, I was clearly there on one of those searches in that very area, and that jacket was not there. How can
I did a video on the jacket. That jacket is not even Cody's. It had nothing to do with the case. Duh, it wasn't there originally because it's a jacket and it wasn't a marked off area. It was found like in behind a park or something. Kids go to parks. So the jacket being found after y'all left the scene is not like some freak of nature. You know what I'm saying? But I did do a video on the jacket. It had nothing to do with Codi though. So let's see what she has to say about that. But that, yeah.
and you find tire tracks in a place where before, when my nephew went missing, there was snow on the ground? It's not possible. It's not possible. I just believe that the Hampton Police Department is trying to cover up for them not doing their part. When there should have been door-to-door searches from the beginning, they weren't done. When they finally did do door-to-door searches, it wasn't with the dogs. You claim you were picking up scents and the dog lost the scent. Clearly, you should have took those dogs to the doors and asked to go inside of these people's homes, which you didn't do. You didn't do the Amber Alert. Like, where does the fault lie on you?
Yes, my name is Mr. Henry. I'm Coy's uncle. And to start with Nikki.
Hey Trey, hey Pure. So they're trying to highlight that there was no Amber Alert done when it came to Codi being missing. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but there is a series of criteria that you do have to meet in order for an Amber Alert to be dispatched. The reason why there is a level of criteria that has to be met is because you don't want to overflow the system for things and, you know, potentially hinder someone that's really been abducted to be found. So let me go ahead and quickly look up Amber Alert criteria real quick because I can't remember them off the top of my head. But I do remember that the Hampton police definitely said that that he didn't meet the criteria, and that's why one wasn't issued. There is enough descriptive information about the victim and the abduction for the law to issue an Amber Alert to assist the recovery of the child. The reason why Codi unfortunately did not have enough descriptive information is because the father, who was the last person that seen him, could not give enough information on when the last time Codi had been seen and what he was wearing. All he remembers is that he had on shoes, pajama pants, and a black tank top. But he said that he is known to be walking around in the middle of the night. He did not realize that Codi was gone until the morning time, but he believes he had left in the middle of the night. That does not give enough information for an Amber Alert to be dispatched. We all know when we get Amber Alerts, it says last seen, blah, 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 this car, that car, abducted, going east. Like there's so, sorry y'all, there's a certain amount of criteria. 1 second, I don't know why that keeps doing that. 1 second. So yeah, there is a level of criteria that has to be met, but he didn't meet that, and we all know that. So I'm not sure why they keep harping on that, but we all understood that when the police explained that there was not going to be one dispatched, we all understood why, because it was not enough information.
Left off the reason why I believe that it wasn't an Amber Alert, because once Coy called the police and said, hey, I went downstairs, my son is missing. They asked him to come to the precinct. He goes to the precinct. They question him about, where were you? What time was it when you found your son was missing? And once he began to answer the questions for almost 4 hours, 72 hours, almost 4 days, they questioned him about his son. So now it got to a point that he wasn't charged at all, and he wanted to go, but they told him, well, you ain't charged, but no, right now stay here and talk. So to me, that's like kidnapping, because he wanted to leave, but they wouldn't let him go. They let him stay there, but they say he was free to go. But every time he tried to leave, they wouldn't let. This came out of his mouth. This is what he told. They wouldn't let him go. And so once we had got a lawyer, then they said, oh, we're going to charge you. But twice he asked for a lawyer. They didn't give it to him. There wasn't no charges, but they still held him until we obtained a lawyer. Then they charged him with a charge. Also, when I went to the house, all the plumbing, the zinc, the bathroom, the kitchen, they took out all the plumbing and they dug up all the floors. So I'm believing that what they thought was, no, you killed your son, and we gonna find out what you did to him. So all that about his son got missing, they believe he killed him. He was missing because of Coy, and so we don't need an Amber Alert because we know you did something to your son. So this whole case now is based on not even his son being missing. We're not going to do an Amber Alert on a 4-year-old boy that is missing. We're not going to look for him because we know that you killed him. And we're going to get you to testify and claim that you did it, because he didn't do it. Now we're going to charge you. So now they give him 7 charges. Then they come back because they still can't find no evidence of if he did something to his son. So now we're going to give you 23 more charges. So now there's 30 charges because we can't prove you killed your son, but we really can't prove that you did it. So now we're going to hold you for as long as we can because we made a mistake. We didn't give you an attorney. When you wanted to leave, we wouldn't let you leave. And so because we was at fault, so now we're going to keep you in prison as long as we can keep you in this prison. Because we was wrong. And so for us to cover our wrong, this is what we're doing to him. And, even when people suggest that the family has something to do with it, but it's no proof that Coy did anything to his son. It's none. But look how long he's been locked up. And now he's on suicide watch because of what they is doing to him. My son is gone, but you holding me for 30 charges and I can't look for my son? And you saying I killed my son? You saying I did something to my son?
No. See, this whole trickery, first of all, y'all think people stupid. There's 2 separate things going on. He is not being charged with anything involving Codi. So everybody is able to speak about Codi because it's not an active charge, right? That's number 1. I just want to reiterate that. There's no charges against Corey for Codi. Not murder, not abduction, not missing, not manslaughter, nothing. The charges that he is being charged with is all pertaining to the other children in the house. Mind you, he got charged because when he was in that interrogation, he admitted to leaving the children behind. And then they also got personal statements from various people, hence why they were able to create a timeline. Never again does any of these charges have anything to do with Codi. So if my son is missing and I'm going down bad, he can still talk about Codi. And again, exactly, AK, that child did not just get up and disappear on his own, and no one took him. This little boy, I'm trying to figure out, one, where they took him to. Where did they take the little boy? And why they only take him? How did they only take one? He had 4 kids, y'all. So why did they only take Codi? That's number one. Number two, the lack of help for Codi. Codi doesn't only have one parent, he does have a mother. Why isn't the mother down here trying to dig up holes and find her son? Dig up in people's houses, go to these houses. They're very capable of still doing this. They're not lying, Mama Kim. They're just trying to play with the words. They're trying to distract people from putting 2 and 2 together. So they're making it seem as if the father has, which he was, violated his rights. So that is true. But they're trying to make it seem like Codi has not been found simply because the police has been wrongfully mistreating Corey. And now Corey is going through it because the police is trying to accuse him of murder when they did not. They have not charged him with anything. And again, if the father is in jail and we're waiting on some charges to be brought forth or some of clearing of his name, why y'all can't do 2 things at once? Y'all can fight to find Codi and y'all can fight to get Corey out of jail. Please miss me with that. Because there's hell or high water. If I know my brother is innocent and I know that my nephew is out here somewhere in people's houses, they said search people's houses, I'm going to do it all. They're trying to play with people's words.
And then I got to stay in prison for what you think I might have did? Come on. I thought it was until proven guilty. But you're innocent until proven guilty. But if you look at this Corey's case, Corey's guilty, according to Hampton, Virginia, until he proved himself innocent. I thought the law worked the other way. That's why we're here. And that's why we're speaking about what happened to Corey and what they did to him. And mentally, he's losing it. In a way, my son is gone. I can't look for him. But y'all saying I can't do it. But I didn't. Now I'm facing 117 years because my son missing. Somebody took him. Y'all never looked for him.
He's facing 117 years for neglect for the other 3 children that was in that house. And according to the court documents that was released in my last live, one of the children he did not even get medical help for. None of these charges have anything to do with Codi. And this is the first time I've ever heard anything about killing Codi. Why do they keep saying that? That is weird to me. Why are they saying, y'all saying I killed my son? If you're not charged with that, you shouldn't even be casting those type of spells over your beloved son. But what you are being charged with is factual. Did you neglect your children? Yes or no? People get in trouble for that every day. You are not allowed to neglect your children. And then to say, what do y'all expect him to do? This was the words of his lawyer in the official statement. Remember, she said, well, what do y'all expect him to do? He is a father of 4. He's a single father. So y'all basically admitted that, yes, he didn't do everything right by his children, the ones that he's being charged for. Right? But I'm kind of disgusted that this is not a press conference about Codi. It's more so about Corey, but we'll continue.
Y'all never did an Amber Alert because y'all believe I did something to him. So this is what I got to go through. I'm denied bond 3 times. I spent 20-something years in the military. More than over 20-something years in the military. I don't have a record from day one. But this is how I get treated because I served the United States of America This what happens to me? Come on, y'all. Is that fair? If you would just think that was one of you all's child, and your child was missing, and you was locked out because you was accused for killing your child, and you know you didn't do it. But yet you got to go through all this pain and all this misery that Codi is going through because of someone thinking that you did something. But why? There was denied a bond because someone before him, child went missing? And because they believed it and they gave her bond and found out that she killed her children? So we're not going to give you bond because, Your Honor, you know what happened last time, so we can't let them go. Because you want this to happen to us again? To release somebody who said they didn't do anything and found out that the lady did kill her child? Why? Is it because of her color she was released and found out that she killed her own children? So now we ain't gonna let Codi go? No, it's a black man. I want to say it clear. He did something to his son. And because of what happened the first time, we don't want to go through that again. So we're not gonna let you go. So why am I denied bond 4 times? How am I a threat? How am I a threat not to come back to court? I gave y'all over 20 years in the military. I fought for America. To be treated like this because of what you think I done? Not fair. Looking at 117 years for child neglect. People killing people every day, shooting up schools. But are they looking at 117 years? It don't make sense. This is supposed to be America.
These people are full of crap. No, India, they have not been actively searching for Codi. I'm in a Facebook group, like it's titled like Find Codi Bigsby. And they all talk about that. Even people that live in Hampton, and they even said that a lot of people do not still to this day know anything about him missing or anything. Yeah, Mama Kim. So he went missing in an apartment complex. No one has seen him. Like he just literally just vanished. And when they highlight the fact that they took out plumbing and dug up the floors, of course they're testing every part of that goddamn house. And I would not put it past them. So on one hand, y'all saying that they didn't do enough, but on the other hand, y'all saying that they did too much. Y'all all over the place, and y'all think someone's stupid. He's trying to play a trickery on us and make us pull at our heartstrings. Oh my God, it's just another black man being wronged in the judicial system. Well, we will not allow you to even make a mockery out of that. Those other cases are definitely real, but what your nephew is in jail for is for child neglect of 3 of the 4 children that he had. So yeah, y'all, they can miss me. I'm kind of really over it, but I'm gonna continue to listen.
I let my wife say something.
What I'd like to say is, first of all, I want everybody to understand that we have Codi and Corey that we're concerned about. And you don't sit up at night praying and crying and wondering, is Codi, is he okay? Who has him? Is he eating? Is he cold? Is he hot? What his mental status is like. Is he crying for his dad? Is he crying for his siblings? We do. We a village family. We're a village family. When you do something to one of us, you've done it to all of us. Corey, I helped raise Corey like my own son. And it hurts me every day knowing that we can't talk to him. Knowing that he's locked up, he's He is innocent, but you've already said he was guilty. And it just hurts every day. You sit out there and you criticize us on social media, on the news, and we're bleeding on the inside.
You damn right we gonna sit up here and judge y'all. You said y'all a village family. Where was the village when these kids was left alone multiple times while he went to go get a car? Where was the village when he told that realtor that he didn't have that he only had 3 children when he went to go buy a house? What are you talking about? That makes no sense. And Ty, I'm not sure where the other children are. I believe that they may unfortunately be in temporary like custody, in foster care. I hope that they're safe, but y'all not gonna he's guilty of leaving those kids. He's being charged with neglect, not murder, not manslaughter. Like, stop it. Y'all, I can't. And I really hate that because y'all know I ride hard for my people, but all skin folk and kin folk, and y'all not gonna get us to really use us by the masses to get y'all story out there that Corey is being wrongfully convicted. Nah, his ass to just sit where he at because he did neglect his kids allegedly. So he can sit there. Where was y'all at while these kids was being left alone? Why don't y'all have any up-to-date pictures of Codi?
We're bleeding on the inside the whole time, trying to keep a smile on our face. If we knew, if we had any idea where Codi was, we wouldn't be here today. Corey wouldn't be locked up today. Make it make sense. Who in the world would take a kid from their loved one, hide them, have him to call and say the kid is missing, and him to go through all of this? We are not that people. We maybe people that's greedy for money may do something like that, but that's not who we are. That's not who Corey is. And for him to be treated like this, it don't make sense. I asked, I said, why? I never wanted Corey to move to Virginia. And I was like, why did he move here? But he's here because his kids are here, and that's why he stayed in Virginia. I was like, get everybody and come to DC, but he has kids here. So he stayed because he's a dad. He's a good dad. But you making him seem like he's a villain. He's a good dad. The track record you should track is, he's never been in trouble. He's a provider. He's a good dad who would take care of 4 little kids after raising another set of grown kids. Who? What a good dad. He's not this villain that you think. He's a good dad. And I want him home. Don't make sense. It's unfair. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. And whoever might have Codi, just put him where we can find him, put him where he can be found.
Not Mike.
It's okay. I don't care if you don't turn yourself in. Put him someplace where we can find him. He have other siblings that's crying there in foster care. We can't even get in touch with them because they won't answer our calls. So we're concerned about Codi, Corey, and the rest of the Bigsby kids. We are a village. We're a close-knit family. And that's all I have to say.
Look at the crazy auntie. Look at that lady is so immature. She really chaps my ass. But anyway, y'all, this is very, very sad to watch. She said, who would take in another set of children after they already raised grown children? The man who had the kids? I mean, what? You don't get a pat on the back for doing what you're supposed to do. He is their father. He is supposed to take care of them. But see, people have it confused that they think that if they do the bare fucking minimum, that they are somehow superior and better than everybody else. No, you are supposed to raise your kids. You had them. Like I'm disgusted. We're not giving him no goddamn pat on the back. And then again, we are not giving you a pat on the back for serving in the military either, because your ass signed up. That was your job, okay? No one gives me a pat on my back for clocking into work every day, because that's my job. I'm not giving you no. The auntie looked like I'm just so irritated. She don't even really want to sit by them. It's just she's childish. Yeah, I hope someone asks. So they just asked if there's any questions. I hope someone asks, because I'm not about to sit through this for another 45 minutes.
I'm gonna let Bonnie speak. Before I do that, this is what they're living with every day. And Mr. Hennett said, "This is America." The foundation of my law firm is the unfortunate reality that this is America. I'll let Bonnie speak to the 25,000.
Yeah, Codi has agreed among executives and employees and other businesses to have a $25,000 reward for anyone who has any information leading up to finding Codi. As you've seen here, this family was torn apart because there's a child missing, and was right as a parent to do what all he could to get some help to find his child. And we want to help his family get some peace and to find Codi and to help Corey.
Is the reward good if he's a safe return or dead or alive, or
A return.
dead or alive?
I mean, I don't want to.
He's not dead.
So you think someone has him?
I do. I have thought that from day one. In fact, I'm a Christian woman, and as I prayed and asked the Lord, He told me he was alive.
Do you have any idea who would take him?
I have no.
God said, leave him out of this. God said, the Lord said, leave him out of this. He didn't tell you that. He did not tell you that, ma'am. He did not. So you mean to tell me the Lord came to you to tell you that someone has him, but the Lord didn't come to you to tell you that your nephew is leaving them home alone? Girl, I rebuke it. See, y'all them false ass prophets. Y'all don't. And furthermore, why y'all couldn't come up with no money for a reward for Corey? Or Codi, I'm sorry. Why is this little woman sitting right here? Why is she giving the $25,000 damn near 7 months later? Like, y'all got me messed up. Yeah, God said how I get it. Like, I didn't talk to you. When I tell you that? Who said that? It's giving. Who said that? He did not say that. God forgive me, but no.
I did. I wish I had. I'd go get him myself.
I remember one time my niece was saying within that area that he live in, there is a playground outside. Not only is it a playground, but there's a fenced off, the neighborhood is fenced off from another neighborhood. In the neighborhood, when I went to move his stuff, it's a big hole in the fence that separates the neighborhoods. And the other neighborhood that is connected to his neighborhood is known as a lot of sex offenders in that neighborhood.
There's one right on Brandon Drive.
So did the police ever go in that area where they're known sex offenders that live there to question any of them, to interview any of them? Could one of them have saw him that night walking outside? picked him up, took him home. He could be living with him now. You never know. We know the story about them 6 ladies lived in this man's house for all them years. No one never knew they was there because the police never went on that side and searched them people's homes and questioned those people about the boy, about our nephew being missing.
Is it any reason why the children are in foster care instead of the care of you?
I would say I have been told that they are in the process of vetting myself as well as their aunt, and the process could be 6, 9 months, even a year. My point is, we don't get to have contact with them as we should.
I've only had contact with them once. And I reached out to them on the twins' birthday to ask if I could get a visit. And she told me they had something planned that day that they would try to get with me the next day, which would have been June 15th. And I'm still waiting. I've reached out, I've sent text messages, I've called, and I'm still waiting.
And remember, this is the Hampton Social Services. So we're dealing with the Hampton Police Department, the Hampton Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and the Hampton Social Services.
Amina, can I ask you a question? As of this moment,
And I tell you what we'll do. We can do, if everyone is done talking, we can do question and answers.
Amina, as of this moment, have anyone in the family been charged with abuse or neglect towards the children? And if not, then why are they being denied the right to see the kids?
My opinion is because it's Hampton. Yes, is the answer to your question.
Which, would you believe he's alive?
You asked. If you
Oh, dead or alive? Yes. I have a follow-up question. Neighbors of Corey's did report, and he admitted to police that he had left the kids alone for several hours at a time on multiple occasions. Do you have any response to that?
Well, if he admitted that he left his kids alone, so do that prompt 30 charges of child neglect? And do that cause him not to have a bond? Do that cause him to be denied his right to a lawyer? Do that deny him his right to come out when he wanted to leave if he's not placed under arrest?
If he admitted
If
that,
he admitted it, do that?
I can't. Cricket, what? Y'all. Brina, I do agree with you. The police could have done way more. I do agree with that. Especially if people are saying that they do not know anything about him missing. I do think that they could have done way more, but I do believe that they're not doing way more, air quotes around that, because they know something's up. I can't. It's getting juicy now. It's getting good because baby, they on them next now. He left them kids home alone.
Do that cause for all that to happen to him if he admitted that? For them to not to give him a lawyer, for them to not to give him a bond, for them to not to let him leave when he wanted to leave?
And let me just say too, to your question, I've had child neglect cases. Generally what happens if children are left alone without injuries, which I know many of you were at the preliminary hearing, and that was the Commonwealth's evidence that they were left alone without injuries. That is a referral to Child Protective Services. Child Protective Services visits the home, puts a safety plan in place, makes sure they're not alone again, and that's it. It's not 30 felony charges. At the most, it would be a misdemeanor. There is misdemeanor child neglect charges that can be brought. Leaving a child at home alone without injuries would be a referral to social services. If there were any indication that there could have been injuries, like maybe the parent left the child home alone before and they were injured, or the parent left the child home alone before and they were in the street, but on this occasion, they weren't injured, but the parent had the propensity to know that they could have been, then you get a misdemeanor charge. You do not get felony charges. These felony charges were, again, I look at the Hampton Police Department in conjunction with the Commonwealth Attorney's office, because when the Hampton Police Department could not get a false confession, they called the Commonwealth Attorney's office to say, how can we keep them? And these are the charges likely recommended by the Commonwealth Attorney's office. We'll give them felony charges. I can imagine the conversation was, well, we can't find anything about murder and he didn't do anything. Well, didn't he say he left his kids home alone? Yeah, but that would just be a misdemeanor. No. Charge him with felonies. Charge him. How many kids does he have? All of them. How many times did he do it? So that's, the police can contact the Commonwealth Attorney before they bring charges. That is the conversation I imagine. We can't let him go because now the media has picked up on the Codi Bigsby case. We can't just let him walk out of here after we denied him a lawyer, denied him the right to go home, denied him food and water, had him sleeping on a cot for 4 days. We can't just let him walk out of here. So we have to cover this stuff.
Amina, is, as of today, is Corey still maintaining his innocence, and what is his message right now?
Corey is not just maintaining his innocence. Corey is innocent. And the message that what you've heard from the family is his message. They've had contact with him prior to, I know that Mr. Hennett made a statement, but prior to that status at the jail, he was communicating with his family. So you've heard, you heard Mr. Hennett tell all of you pretty much how Corey feels. But he's, just like he said, when you go to report your child missing, it's unfortunate that you have to be concerned that you're going to be prosecuted, especially as a Black male in this country. And I can tell you that if I knew Corey before he went to report his child missing, I would have told him, no, you don't go. You need to send a Black female to go that will know what, because you all know that the way my practice is about civil rights. So
Hold on. He went to the precinct to report him missing, or did he call? Because I remember them saying that they received a call to 911 saying that the son was missing. So where was the woman supposed to go to again? What? Huh?
I go from case to case to case where there is police corruption, where the Commonwealth attorneys are doing corrupt things that are corrupt. So I have advice for all of my clients, and there's no way. In fact, I got on after this case before I got in it that if you're a Black man in America, you cannot report your child missing. You go to the wife, or you go get a female, because Black females are less likely to be targeted by the police. Also, Black females will tell the police, no, I'm not telling you anything that you need to know other than, the height, weight, description of my child. Whereas, the charges that they have is because they were talking to him about stuff that happened prior to the disappearance of Codi. And it's just unfortunate, but just like Mr. Hennett said, this is America. This really, really is America.
And then I spoke with him, and at the time I spoke, he crying and said, "Oh man, they got me locked up for doing something to my son. I want to see my son. I want to look for my son." So he crying and pleading because he incarcerated for doing something to his son when he know he didn't do it, and now he crying because I can't even look for my son. I really can't. And at this point, we can't even visit him. We can't even see him. My wife and I, we are reverends in the church, so we clergy, and we still can't go see him. And I've been going to prisons all my life because I do prison ministry. And even when other people can't get in, they still allow clergy to come in. But we can't go see him.
Mr. Hennett, when was the last time you saw Codi alive?
Cody?
Corey.
Corey or Cody? Which one, the son or the father?
The son. When was the last time you saw him?
Maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Candelia, when was the last time you saw Codi?
I think I've answered that question more than enough.
Tenny Lynn, can you tell us what state you live in, different from where Baby Cody lives at?
I'm in DC,
And Baby Cody resides,
in Hampton,
thank you, Virginia.
correct.
And may I ask, why the $25,000 reward now?
Why
Because
now?
we want to bring my nephew home.
I think I can answer that.
Um, 2 years. The little boy's only 4. Y'all don't even, girl, please stop. And y'all just said y'all, okay, whatever. Next, the auntie, she don't even want to answer when the last time she saw him. Talking about, I think I've answered that more than enough times. But y'all just started the press conference and said that y'all wasn't allowed to speak. So why are you not speaking out now that this is something that is on your playing field, your domain? Answer the questions. When's the last time you saw him? Because we didn't hear it the first time. I did, but I don't even remember what she said.
So I've had prior to me coming on this case, I had contact with Bonnie and TV Unleashed. So when I talked to the family, again, just so all of you know, when I got in, I was laser focused on trying to get him out. I think I did like 4 bond hearings. So that was my focus. And then when I was able to sit down and talk to the family about other issues, I again found out that they were told not to have a press conference. And then that's when we started having conversations. Okay, well, let's do this press conference July 15th. We talked about this about a week ago. Let's do the press conference July 15th. And I talked to them about about TV Unleashed. Now they had, I got in touch with the person at TV Unleashed who was able to sponsor, and it wasn't Bonnie, but the producer, and they were able to sponsor a reward. So we started talking more about, I guess like after I did the 4 bond hearings, we sat down and started talking more about everything. And then that's when I found out that their previous attorney said not to talk to the press. And I was like, well, do you all want to talk to the press? And they were like, yes. So we set up this press release. I started talking to them about possibly getting a sponsor for the reward. And that's how all that started. So that's why now, I guess, is the best.
So this lawyer never had any type of care about Corey. She has reiterated this multiple times. The first time she said it, I'll let it ride. The second time she said it, it kind of buzzed in my ear. But this third time that she has said this, I am fed the hell up. She says that she has been laser focused on bringing Corey home. So then when she finally was able to speak to the family, when she finally got around to doing it, basically, that's when she came up with the grand idea to get a pot, a reward fund started. Girl, just
Amina, when is Corey's next court date?
Okay, so I think somebody called me and said, if you look on the circuit court website, it says July 22nd, and it says for a guilty plea. That next court date, so the next court date, to answer your question, is July 22nd. On the court's website, it says guilty plea. It's just a control date. He is not pleading guilty. But I think the circuit court put it up there that way so that no witnesses will be subpoenaed. So on that court date, we will likely pick the trial schedule. Now, there is also a July 29th date, which is set for trial, but it's not going to be the trial date. So there'll be a lot of different motions. So on July 22nd, that will actually be a hearing, and we'll set a trial.
Amina, have you looked into taking this case out of Hampton, Virginia?
I have. I do plan on doing that. So that's why, as far as pretrial motions, those are one of the types of pretrial motions.
Where is Cody's mom?
And I want to speak to that. One reason is you asked, if you don't mind,
No, you're fine.
25,000. When you put up money, people start looking.
When people start talking.
People start talking, and people start looking because now money involved. I was consistent that we need to get this out of Hampton. As long as it's just in Hampton news, in the area of Hampton, only Hamptons know, only Hampton is dealing with it the way the law in Hampton want to deal with it. But once it get outside of Hampton, then changes can be made because you got other jurisdictions, you got other people know, even people on my job and people around where live, we talk about, they're like, I ain't know that. So don't nobody, too many people know about this, but Hampton. And so we had to get this out of Hampton.
Can we clear something up for the press?
Yes.
You said last time you seen baby Cody, it was 2 years. Can you tell them where you reside at and where baby Cody
The
reside
same. I decided in Washington, in Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
at? And baby Cody live in Virginia.
Exactly. That's why it's been long. I'm so far away, and I so that's the reason why. But that's, I wanted to speak about getting it out of Hampton. That's another reason why we're having this press conference, in order to let people know, besides Hampton.
Right, to get the story out.
To get the story out, not just here, because getting it out here, and this just me, we say you always hear, if you see something, say something. And as a black man, you say something, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. And they wonder why we don't always say something about what we see. Codi says something, my son is missing, and look what happened to him.
And a lot of community members really, did a lot of search parties. A lot of people are posting on Facebook still wanting to, help find Codi. I guess overall as a family, what's your reaction to the community's response to that?
But it was some community people, not a lot. It was some. And some of the stuff that they was posting was kind of negative towards the family, because they was blaming he missing because of the family. If the family loved him, where they at? If the family care about him, why they ain't looking for him? But the family was out there looking. So far as the neighborhood, people in the neighborhood putting stuff on Facebook and me like it's something positive. No, it wasn't. It was something negative about the family.
And to be clear, the chief of police is the one that started that.
He wouldn't be attacking his family, because we are the ones that love him.
Well, they were mimicking the chief. The chief of police is the one that went on February 25th at city council. He said if the people that cared about Codi would help us, then we would be able to find him. And then that's when the family started getting attacked. So he started that. And then the people in the community
Can we
started
run the
mimicking.
question back of where
So
the mama
that
at?
was reckless.
When was the last time anyone other than Corey saw Cody alive?
I'm not sure.
We can't answer that because most of the time Corey has his boys. He's the one that has his boys in terms
Corey
of the
has
mom.
dedicated the last 6 years since he retired to being a full-time dad to his boys.
Are y'all ready to get this interview started? The question is, I met you today, you hired the lawyer who was inside the courthouse. The lawyer was at the window asking to see his client. He was denied several times. If I did not videotape what happened, do you think we'll be here? Now check this out. We went into a press conference. I questioned the chief. Did y'all deny Corey Bigsby of his rights? He stood there angrily looking at me and said no. To find out he was absolutely lying, because I have the receipts from him. Can you answer that? Who was there?
You are absolutely correct. You came in while we were there waiting to see if they were going to let the attorney speak to him. And they came out and told Mr. Ambrose no, he couldn't see him, that he didn't specifically ask for an attorney. Mr. Ambrose in return said, so you're not going to allow me to see my client after his family has retained me. And again, they denied him.
And let me just chime in here. Again, it is clear to me that denying people and not just people, this is a black man, so let's keep that in mind. But denying him his constitutional right is a pattern in practice in the Hampton Police Department. My belief is that this is what they do. So he goes in there, asks for an attorney, they deny him the right to see an attorney, and then they continue with the questioning. Well, if the news media had not been there, if she had not recorded it, If the media hadn't picked up the fact that Cody was missing, he wouldn't have apologized and said, "Oh, we denied him his right to an attorney, so we're going to put someone on administrative leave." It's this is what they do. So the only reason that the chief came out, my belief is the only reason he even came out and said we screwed up is because the
Okay, so that was Rhonda Young talking, and she just really pissed me off because we're talking about Cody, and y'all see how these people are masters of chaos. They like to cause confusion. She says, "Okay, so can we get to the interview about when I met you and we talked about the Corey being denied his rights, and I asked the police chief." We are talking about Cody. We got it understood that Corey is in jail. We know this. We are trying to still bring focus onto what is where Cody could be. And y'all should be giving us so much information right now so we can help find Cody. But y'all, they don't care about Cody being missing. This proves it. They're not giving us any information to run with. Talking about some, when people get money, they start talking. Well, it's 7 months later, baby. Well, 6 months later. They should have been talking. Y'all should have been and had that money flowing. But y'all keep bringing it back to Corey, and that story is getting us nowhere and helping Cody.
media was watching. If you all had not been there, he would have just been denied the right to counsel and then got charged for not giving a false confession. So this is a pattern in practice. And the only reason the chief admitted that he was wrong is because he didn't have a way out. So the concern really should be for the people of Hampton and the Commonwealth of Virginia. How often does this happen when the media's eyes are not watching?
I'm going to give you a little glimpse into a family conversation that we had at the table when this kicked off. We're watching the news, we're listening, and all we hear out of the chief's mouth is he's free to go. He's cooperating. And so we talked among ourselves because we know Corey. Like, why is he sitting at that precinct and not contacting us, letting us know what's going on? We'll be there lickety split. Why is he just sitting there? But the whole time we've been lied to. He wasn't free to go, because when you're free to go, you can say, you know what, I'm done with this conversation. I'm out of here. But that was not the case. And the proof is in the pudding. So when the attorney shows up and he was denied to see Corey, there you have it. Even Tandalia, who slept at the precinct, I said, tell them to let Corey know that his sister is out there, because I feel a need to let them know that, yeah, family is here for you. We're on the scene. They never said.
I asked Detective Snellgrove that to let him know. He said he would. Another detective came out that morning. He said he would. No one ever told Corey that I was at the station. In fact, when I finally talked to him, he said to me that he told them I have family who don't even know what's going on with me.
Tandalia, Jeffrey, his attorney, his first attorney, and I, and you stood outside of watch, walked over to the Commonwealth Prosecutor Office to ask them why are they violating his client's rights. Do you recall the incident?
Yes.
Did he give you a reason why they didn't allow his lawyer to come in on that day?
No. The only thing they did was tell him to direct it to Anton Berry.
I want to go back to something about the search teams for Cody, as well as the reward money. I first want to thank all of the teams for their efforts and their diligence in looking for baby Cody. I appreciate that. In terms of the reward money, as I sit here and think about that, we had to jump through some things. We had to dispel some. There were a lot of fake GoFundMe pages that were not honored by the family, that were not generated by the family. And so people didn't know what was what and who was putting out what. Yeah, some people got paid. In fact, I researched about 4 different ones as far as Texas, putting
Call
out
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe pages for
Call
baby Cody.
GoFundMe.
And so as I thought about it, like you had to let all of that pass through the riffraff so that the genuine approach or reward money can come through so people can really look, tell us where Cody is and do what's right.
I think Julie tried to ask this question earlier, but I also want to know the same thing. A lot of people are asking within Hampton Roads, where is Cody's mother? Is she involved? Is she helping you all search?
Well,
No.
She
the
has
real
not
answer
been in
is no.
any searches.
And even before this happened, he had to, when he been in Virginia with his kids, the mother left. Coy kept his kids. So he had full custody of his kid because he loved his kid. So the mother is really not involved at all.
The police put the kids in her custody. Why did they end up in foster care now?
Because
I don't know.
That
I
we
mean,
don't
but-
know.
research her history. Research her history.
She actually,
That's
can
the
I say
best
this?
answer. Research
She
her history.
actually had a son. No, okay, well, I'm gonna let that go. But
Let them research her
research her
history.
history and find out what type of person that she was, and you'll find out why Coy had to get his own sons and taking care of his sons because he loved his children. So let me get my sons and let me raise my sons where they be in a safe environment. And maybe it might not because of what happened, but that's to show the love that he had for his kids, that he got them from the place where they were in order for him to raise his own son.
So where is she? She's in the Washington, D.C.
DC
area.
Doing
And
nothing.
you guys don't have contact with her at all?
No, we
No.
don't.
And she's not tried to reach out to you at all?
No.
No.
And I made sure that
Wow.
she had an update telephone number for me.
And Ms. Butler, what do you want the people to know about Cody as a person? Just kind of what he is like.
Cody or Coy.
Cody.
Cody is the typical 4-year-old kid. He likes to run and play. Cody loved his dad. Literally, when they were at my house, his dad couldn't go up the steps without Cody being right on his trail. So that's just the gist of it. Like Cody was the typical child. I mean, I've seen so many negative things. Oh, he was unkept. He was this and that. Unkept children don't have clean clothes and haircuts. So he wasn't unkept. Cody was the typical child. He wanted to play. He wanted to run. He wanted
ice
to do
cream
what
for
he wanted to
breakfast.
do.
Uncomfortable question.
Y'all see how they saying
The
was?
case changed after the lie detector test. What happened?
Say it again.
So the case didn't change after the lie detector test.
After the lie detector test, things happened. Corey Bigsby said, look, give me a lawyer now. He started demanding. I don't know what happened. We don't know what the test came up to be. But the detectives became very upset with him. And things happened, but we don't know what happened.
I can tell you that they were upset with him because he was not giving them a false confession. That is
Rhonda Young is messy. She is messy. She is aiding into this ghetto press conference. She is so messy. She's not even asking questions like a journalist would. She's more so trying to probe and dig for drama purposes. She's messy. You keep going back to Corey when we're trying to talk about Cody.
that they kept him there for 4 days in an attempt to get a false confession. The media kept asking what's going on with him, and then they likely contacted the Commonwealth attorney to figure out how to try to keep him and not just let him walk out of here because of the mess that they made. And then he was overcharged, first with 7 charges, and the overcharging continued. So they became frustrated when he would not give a false confession. This is clear to me that there is a pattern in practice in Hampton, and the only reason that the only reason that this is on the news is because you all decided to cover it. Like, this happens every single day. People, if you don't give a false confession, this is how we're going to get you. So that's what happened.
And I'm gonna piggyback off that based on what he said. After they questioned him for so long and didn't get what they want, that's when he said, look, I'm tired. I want to go home. I've been here for all these hours. I just want to go home, and can we come back and start over? And that's when they denied him to leave, but he was free. If he was free to go, but they said every time he got it, they was like, oh, no, sit back there, we're not finished. But he was free to go. And so they got upset because they didn't get what they wanted. And that's why they denied him to leave. They denied him a lawyer, and they got mad with him. And then he said, he got upset because they wouldn't let him. They wouldn't let him go.
I know
Is it
you all
true?
said that you have had minimal contact with the other children, but have the siblings expressed any idea about where they think Codi might be?
My
It's
visit
two
with them,
babies.
nobody knows. It was basically for me to see them, to know that they were okay, and to let them know that I love them.
And they haven't said anything about where their brother is.
They haven't said
They
anything.
like 3 years old.
Yeah.
They-
For clarification,
They 5
They
and
say
3.
they babies. So.
just for clarification, they are in Hampton's foster care system, correct? And sorry, when is Cody's birthday?
January 9th.
January 9th. What year?
Cody is, I want to say 2000. My grandson's
18.
So it should
Don't
be
ask me. I can't even keep up with my own birthday.
I think
I'm
the
too
years
old.
is what gets me. The day
2018.
I'm fine, but
Why
the
that question?
year, if I'm not mistaken, it's 2018.
Amina, to you. What they did to Corey Bigsby is a violation of his constitutional rights. The state of Virginia and Hampton, Virginia, no, they have set themselves up for a lawsuit. Do you think they are prolonging the lawsuit by holding Mr. Corey Bigsby longer in jail and overcharging him so that he can't sue them?
No, I think they're doing that because this is what they do. So you don't give us a false confession, we are going to overcharge you and try to get you to prove. I don't think it has anything. This is what they do.
Y'all all
So
plan
I
on
don't think
suing,
it has
right?
anything to do with the law.
Are y'all planning on suing?
I did. I sent a notice of intent when I first got on the case. So yeah.
Rhonda is messy.
To the media to kind of spread the word a bit more outside of this area. So
Right.
do you think it's possible that he could potentially be somewhere out of state and they should be searching in other states right now?
It's
Absolutely.
possible.
I feel like at this
It's
point,
possible.
they should be searching everywhere.
Everywhere. It's
I
possible.
feel like had a Cody alert, had an Amber
We're gonna get-
alert went out,
Just prophesizing.
then, yeah, that too.
We're gonna get a Cody.
But I feel like if an Amber alert went out, it would have been nationwide. And Cody may be home by now.
And if he was, and if he is out of the state with an amber alert, that could have stopped him from getting out of the state because they'd have been looking for someone with this young man to taking him outside of the state of Hampton. But because it wasn't put out there, he could be anywhere. He could be next door where them sex offenders live at. He could be there, but because it wasn't an amber alert, nobody looking for him.
Please forgive me for this.
But the
question.
family,
Please
we
forgive
are.
me for this question. And no disrespect to you. ma'am.
go ahead, ask the
I'm
question.
sorry that I gotta ask you.
You gotta be sorry.
I apologize. If the family, oh, forgive me. If the family found out that Corey Bigsby did do something to his son, how much support will he continue to get from you?
First of all, we're not gonna find that out because he didn't do anything to his son. But to answer that question, if there was ever a possibility that anybody in our family did something contrary to what we stand for, we family to the death. So we're not gonna find out that Corey did anything to Cody because that's off the record. Corey did not do anything to Cody. And I just want to speak to something that the chief said as well about the Amber Alert. He said he went against the grain to call in the FBI. He went against the grain to do that, but he
In the
said,
first few hours.
yeah, he said that, this situation about Cody didn't warrant an Amber Alert. So here, Chief, you're making a choice. You go against the grain to call in the FBI on a man who reported his 4-year-old son missing, but you don't go against the grain to put out an Amber Alert. And my question to you, sir, is why?
And y'all should, hopefully y'all will follow up with the chief of police, but understand too what.
Okay, this interview is going nowhere, in my opinion. I'm gonna finish it off with this. It's very concerning that they don't understand that Amber Alerts have to be dispatched with certain criteria. The fact that the lawyer can't even get that unconfused because she's the one that put that out there. She's the one that started that narrative. You cannot just do an Amber Alert. They did not have enough information. As y'all heard, he went missing in the middle of the night. He left the house in the middle of the night. They can't say what time. They don't know what he was wearing. They don't know if he went left or right. There's certain criteria. There has to be a certain descriptive language for people to know what to look for. Because as you guys know, unfortunately, Amber Alerts are not dispatched with pictures. So I don't understand why they would even do that. Exactly, Anisha. And another criteria is it has to be a known sense of endangerment, like abduction. So I don't understand why they keep saying that. Also, they keep speaking of Cody in the past tense. When they asked them to describe Cody, they said he was. If I'm talking about my kids, I'm gonna say they are. They are typical children. They are a typical 4-year-old. I have a 4-year-old myself. I can give off more than a typical child. I can definitely say her favorite color, what she likes to watch. They couldn't do any of that. Yes, they are definitely speaking in past tense. They think, they between them and this press conference, I think it did more damage than good because they are not focusing on Cody missing. They're focusing on Corey being wrongfully convicted or wrongfully trialed. And then on top of that, Rhonda Young proved the point when she brought up, is he going to sue? And when the lawyer answered it, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, are you guys crazy? The intent to sue was not like a secretive thing, but they should have definitely said his main focus is finding his son as soon as he gets out, not suing people. Because again, y'all not talking about Cody. Well, all in all, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. It's been an hour and 30 minutes. So I want to hear y'all thoughts below. I'm not sure if anything else has been said because I haven't watched this whole interview. If I watch the rest and see something crazy, I might just do another video. But this shit just burned my brain cells. And I'm very, very sad, to be honest with you guys. Justice for Codi, and I hope we find him. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.
And thank you. Oh yeah, thank you, Ms. Marcel. Yo, all props to you. And just you doing what you doing. And you got a voice. Keep doing